Hey everybody, it's your man James, Mr. Squint Treasures, back again with some more live stream action for you. This is a take two. As a few of you who were there yesterday might know, I tried to do this yesterday from the hotel right after the show, because I wanted to have it fresh in my mind and hit you with all the good stuff. But unfortunately, technical problems got in the way, and I couldn't do that. But if you're back again today, I thank you for joining me, whether you're watching me live or you're watching this in syndication, as it were. But I promise you guys a post-con wrap-up, and you're going to get a post-con wrap-up, folks. That's going to happen. And let's just take a quick chat. Look who's in the chat. We got, of course, Leg Kick, who's here, because Leg Kick is almost always here. So thank you for being here, my friend. Glad you could make it. Just so you guys know, it was a great time. I really enjoyed myself. I had a lot of fun. Leg Kick was actually at the show. I actually saw him in person. Yes, he is a real person, folks. He is not my alt account. He's not a bot. He is a real live person. And I saw him there. We had some laughs. We had some fun and talked for a while we were in line waiting to get in on the first day. But let's get into what actually went down while I was there. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to share the screen. And well, here's before I share the screen, here's Creative Faye. Yes, Creative Faye was there. I wish you would have spoken to me when you saw me, because then we could have had a conversation. I would have liked that. Yes. So you see, there were some people here, folks, who were at the show, so they can tell you that it was for real. It's like, yes, there's like he was there, and he is alive. Yes, he is a real human being, folks. he is a real person. But yes, let's get on with what I did at the show, so we can have a little fun with that. So we're going to start here with some photographs. All right, now this is me with artist Dan Jurgens, and here he is holding up the piece of artwork when I showed you guys the stuff I had brought with me for the show for signing on the preview on Thursday. Which, if you haven't seen that, once this is over, head on into the back catalog there and check out the preview I gave before the show, showing you stuff I was going to get signed while I was there. This is him holding my Adventures Superman page from Adventures Superman Annual #1 from 1987, which was Dan's first official work of ever drawing Superman. So that's what that is. And Dan was a great guy. He actually told me, I learned this from him. He said that Jim Starlin, who was also there, who wrote the story, he did something that no other writer has ever done in anybody he's worked with as an artist. Is he wouldn't just write the script, but he would have off to the side, he would draw like little diagrams of how the page should be laid out. So like you'd have like a little box off to the side with little boxes in it, showing you this panel, this panel, this panel. So he actually did the layouts in a way for Dan, so he knew how to lay the page out. So like the page you see here that I have, where it's all those long, narrow panels, there was actually written on the script page for that page a little box with long, narrow panels drawn in it. So he knew exactly how to lay the page out. And he goes, he's never had anyone else do that, since he's been doing comics, which for Dan Jurgens, that's like 40 years. That's just crazy. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. And let's see, next up. Here I am with artist Mark Bagley, one of my top 10 favorite artists of all time. That's why you probably see me with a bigger smile right there. And I was just so excited. You see me wearing my my Venom shirt there in his honor, because he was there. There he is holding the page of artwork from Thunderbolts #35, which I brought for him to sign. And he was fun. He kind of tried to punk me a little bit, because he said, "Come on around so we could get the picture." And then when I put my hand on the back of his chair, he's like, "Hey, don't touch me!" And it's just totally messing with me. I love that. I love when they can kid me around with you like that. But yeah, he was really impressed when he saw this page, because he said, "Wow, it's been a long time since I've seen this," and he didn't even remember who the inker was. And I told him, "Yeah, it's Greg Allen." And he goes, "Wow, yeah, Greg Allen. He was a good inker. I wonder whatever happened to him, because you don't see him around much anymore." And so that was fun. I got to spend some time with, again, one of my top 10 favorite artists of all time. I was so excited that Bagley was there. And next up, here's inker Scott Hanna with my Nightfall page from the Batman saga with Chuck Dixon and Graham Nolan that he worked on. And again, just another great piece here. And again, a man full of stories. He actually told me he is the most prolific inker in comic book history, inking something like 26,000 pages, which, if you break that down to like 20 pages per issue, that's like about, like 1,300 comics the most prolific inker. And when I told him, I said, well, yeah, Chuck is also the most prolific writer in comic book history. He laughed about it, and he said to me, he goes, yeah, me and him needle Graham Nolan all the time about that, going, I'm the most prolific inker, Chuck's the most prolific writer, but Graham, you aren't the most prolific penciler. It's just that little bit of camaraderie in there when you have those jokes with each other. I love that. And he's a good guy. And he said that, you know, he misses the days, just like probably all of us do, where, like he said, there was no political stuff involved. People didn't care who you voted for, any of that. It's just like, let's all get together and make great comics. He's talked about some of the great Bat Summits he went to back in like the 90s. And he says, as inker, he was one of the few artists who was at a lot of these. He goes, you know, a lot of the artists didn't always come to these. It was usually the writers and the editors. But he goes, but he went to a lot of them, and he said, so he got to see a lot of stuff behind the scenes and stuff, and like, you know, being more, you know, and he goes, everyone's just bouncing ideas off each other all the time. See, that's the kind of stuff you like to imagine is how they create the comics. It's like you got people just bouncing ideas around, and it's just all this creativity flowing. And he said it kind of was that way at these Bat Summits, and he said he kind of misses those too. So yeah, that's kind of funny, but. And also, one other thing he told me is he had an exclusive contract with DC. I did not know this, that he had to always ink Batman. That was in his contract, that he had to be inker of Batman, which is why he had that huge run on Detective Comics, inking so many great artists like Tom Lyle and Graham Nolan, and even guest artists like when Jim Ballant stepped in and penciled an issue. It was in the contract, it was specified he had to be the inker, and if for whatever reason he couldn't be the inker, they had to give him another Batman book or something to work on that particular month so that he had a Batman book to work on. And I just thought that was kind of really interesting how that was set up. And yeah, he said for him, his career has just been great. He goes, you know, for him, Spider-Man and Batman were his two favorite characters, and you know, he's been the inker on them more than probably just about any inker in modern history. So, you know, for him, it's a dream come true. And take a look at this picture. Now, looking at him, what would you think? He'd be about like what? Maybe about 40 years old? You know, 42, maybe something like that. The man is 62 years old. I couldn't believe he looks. I look older than he does, and he's older than me. That is just insane. But I mean, I guess if you got those great genetics, you know, you're just blessed with that stuff. So let's see what we got. Some people speaking in the chat here. We got Creative Faye. Starlin is one of my favorite artists ever. Yeah, Starlin's a good artist, but I've always liked his stories more. I think he's a much better storyteller. You know, his art, it's good, but with the detail he puts in, it takes a long time to produce. It's not something he could just turn around in like a monthly period. You know, that's why you never saw Starlin doing big runs on a lot of books, you know, back in the past, because his style is so intensively detailed that way. And so I prefer more when he's just writing, because then he can let the creativity flow and some artists take care of that chore, because I always thought his stories are best. You know, that Adventures Superman annual that I showed you with Dan Jurgens for the page that I have is, you know, that's one of my top 10 favorite Superman stories of all time. So, I mean, you know, just Jim Starlin is a great writer. I like him when he does a lot more stories and has time to really dedicate to that rather than having to focus on the drawing side of things. And up next, here I am with Jim Shooter holding my page from Fantastic Four number 296, the 25th Marvel anniversary issue. You know, the very famous cover with, you know, the Thing in his trench coat and hat with the border with all the other famous heroes. And that was the same portrait cover for every Marvel book that month. But the FF was the big one because it was the 25th anniversary of the team and of Marvel Comics. So this was like a real big issue to get something from. And when I laid it down in front of him, he was like almost taken aback. He was like, wow, I haven't seen this in quite a while. I mean, he was like really, you know, surprised to see a page from that issue. And then he told me a story about it, and I didn't know this. And he said that, you know, when originally they were going to do this story back in '86, you know, he said he called up Stan Lee and was like, Stan, you know, it's going to be the 25th anniversary of Marvel and the Fantastic Four. We need you to write the story, and no one else will do. It has to be you. And Stan said he kind of hemmed and hawed. He's like, yeah, that's a lot of work, and you know, I got this Hollywood stuff I'm working on now. I don't know if I got time for all that. And so Jim said, he said, all right, look, how about this? What if I get someone else to plot it, and you come in and fill in the dialogue? And he goes, Stan got quiet for a second, and then he went, okay, I'll do that, but only if you plot it. So that's how Jim Shooter ended up working on the 25th anniversary Marvel issue of Fantastic Four, was because Stan Lee had decreed he would not work on it unless Jim Shooter did. And that was just like so awesome that, you know, that the man himself wanted Jim Shooter to do that. I mean, you know, could you think of a higher compliment from anybody like that, saying, I want you to be the one to work on these characters that I created a quarter of a century ago? That's just incredible. And we got something here from Leg Kick. I talked to Jim Shooter about coming on one of Graham Nolan's streams. He was excited. He said, let Graham know I am open to it. He said he likes Graham. Yes, that would be awesome. That would be a stream I would definitely have to watch. Hell, I might even snipe stream that myself if that happens. That's how cool that would be. I would have to snipe stream it. That would be awesome. I can't wait. But here's the thing is, so he told me that story, and then he showed me this something in a book that he has. He had a book of stuff with him. And in the book, here it is right here. This is a note he got from Stan after the issue was done. And he goes, Dear Jim, in case I forgot to tell you, that was a sensational outline you wrote for the FF 25th anniversary-ish. You sure make my script job easy and fun. Excelsior. How awesome. And look, right there, dated March 21st, 1986. How awesome is that to get a personal letter from Stan the Man Lee that your plot for the book he was on was exceptional and sensational. They were sensational. Stan Lee in the superlative. That is so cool. That is so awesome. And yeah, he is a great comic writer. He is. But even more so, I think he's much more like editorial. He's much better there because he understands comics. He understands what makes them sell and how to make them sell. You know, that's something that's very lacking in today's industry that you don't see anymore, is people who have that kind of knowledge. And then we are with my good friend, Jason Metcalf, a local artist in the area here. And the piece of art there you see is something I bought from him that day at the show, which you will see here in a moment. I'm going to get the booty haul in a moment. But here it is. Here he is here. And yeah, Jason was having a little bit of a rough time of it. He had told me the week before he had went to Boston Con. And while he was there, he ended up getting COVID. And then he came back home, and when he went to the SeaTac airport, he found out his truck had been stolen. A truck that the year before someone had busted out the back window and stole stuff from. And then on top of all that, his wife was having surgery for her back for some pain she was having on top of all this. So he was having a really, really rough time. But I spoke with him later in the show, and according to him on Sunday, when I saw him before I headed out, he said that what he had done by Saturday of the show this year was more than he had done all 3 days last year. So he had a really good show. I was glad to hear that. You know, again, considering he had so many hard knocks so far this year, and you know, I'm just glad that I was able to help him out there. You know, buy some art from him. You know, put a few coins in his pocket, help him out where I can. You know, that's something I like to do with artists who and again, Jason Metcalf. If you've never seen his stuff, I mean, I swear to God, if it was 25 years ago, Jason Metcalf would be working at Marvel. He'd be working on Batman. He'd be working on Spider-Man. He'd be working on, you know, the Hulk. He'd be working on some big league, major time issues for one of the most popular books of the time. If it was like 25 years ago. So how he is not a star in the industry, it's almost like a crying shame, you know. And if the work wasn't so bad today, I would say it'd be a travesty. But you know, maybe in some ways he's better off being on his own, doing his own thing, rather than being a part of the mainstream. But like 25 years ago, yeah, Jason Metcalf would have been a star in the mainstream. I have no doubt whatsoever. And we got some more here from Leg Kick. I told Shooter about Guillermo del Toro making a movie off Bernie Wrightson's Frankenstein. He said they should call him. He was an editor that approved. Wow, I did not know that. Dang, that is amazing, man. To be involved in something like Bernie Wrightson's Frankenstein. Wow, that's something special right there. But this was pretty much all my photos from day one. Like I said, you can always tell because I got my Venom shirt on. Then we get to day two. Now, this day was a little different than most because my brother and his wife came. And my brother hasn't been to a comic convention since 1994, so he has no idea what they're about anymore. And his wife has never been to one, ever. So this was like they were like walking into a whole new world for them. Yeah, just total, you know, sensory overload. But I was glad my brother was there because there was something at the show, not comic related, mind you, but something at the show that harkens back to our childhood. And we got to live out a childhood fantasy. And it's this right here. They had the Knight Rider car at the show. And I was like, man, I got to get some photos with this. I got to be a part of this. I mean, I grew up with Knight Rider, and so did he. I mean, it's just this is just too good to let pass. And so I paid the money for us to go in and get our pictures taken and stuff. Here we are standing outside the car with a nice standee of the Hoff right there in the background. And then next picture here, there we are inside the car from the front. And there it is. The light still works on the front. I love it. Totally. Even doing the sound, woo, 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 woo. I love that. You see, I'm giving the thumbs up because this is awesomeness right here. Then here we are inside the car, close-up shots, the two of us. And then here's a shot so you can see the dashboard and the rocker that they drove from. I mean, it was amazing being inside this car. I just, it was a childhood dream come true for me. I've always wanted, my own Knight Rider car. And, I always wanted a car like Kit that could drive itself and you could talk to it. And so I just thought that was so awesome. Like, 10-year-old me was just like enthralled with that. And so now to be in the actual car that happened in, that's just too good to be true. And I'm gonna stop sharing here for a moment. Let me see here. Because I got something to show you, something I picked up while I was there with the car. Schematics. A schematic sheet that you could purchase. I mean, just how cool. I guess now I can build my own kit. I can build my own kit at home. So I can live out that fantasy in real life. So we'll get back to this, and that was day two. Was the big thing was Knight Rider. Like I said, it's just the only way it could have been better if the Hoff was there himself in person. That would be the only way it could have been better. Got some more from Leg Kick. Yes. Yeah, like I said, it truly was. And the lines of the Trans Am back in like 1982, 83, it literally was the car from the future. You didn't see cars that looked like that back then. Today, they're like almost commonplace seeing that kind of, aerodynamics on the car. It's commonplace today. But back then, that was like futuristic. It was the car of the future. Yeah, he probably is singing over in Germany. Although considering some of the stuff going on over there, I'm not sure he'd want to be there right now. That's not a safe place to be. Yeah, like I said, that was the coolest. I mean, I didn't care about any of the celebrities that are there. Star Trek people and the Star Wars people and the voice actor. I didn't care about that. When I saw the Knight Rider car, I'm like, all right, this is cool, man. This is my childhood relived right here. So, yeah, I was very happy to do that and to share it with my brother. Because, like I said, we both watched the show. We both love the show. We both love Kit. And so to get in the car and being able to be a part of that is just too damn awesome. Just too damn awesome. So then we get to day 3. And you can see here I am. I'm wearing the Wraith of God t-shirt. That's how you know it's day 3. I got my Wraith of God t-shirt on. Here I am with artist Jason Martin, of another friend of ours, created lots of cool stuff. He's created a character called Vamp Blade and Swiss Army Woman, and just a bunch of kind of like pastiche parody characters based off other things. And they're a lot of fun that he does that with. And here's a piece of art I bought from him. Again, you'll be seeing that in a moment here. And we talked with him, and he said also, just like Jason Metcalf said, that by Saturday he had blown out whatever he did all 3 days last year. So it seemed to be like it was a really big show this year. And I'm glad to see that some of the guys I know there, some of the local regulars were working out so well and making their bones, because like I said, it's a hard haul. As someone who's worked many a convention, I can tell you it's a hard slog to get through cons. And you never have any guarantees you're going to come out ahead. And so to hear that they did better this year than last year, I was glad to hear that. That made me very happy to hear that. We got some more here from Lekik. And all the Star Trek people already. I screened them. I see. Yes. See, that's again, like I said, folks, I saw Slow Leg Kick on the first day on Friday, and he told me that he worked at SeaTac, and it's like, that's crazy that he got to meet so many famous people that way. That's just ridiculous. That he had to see them through security. That is awesome. We got Creative Faye. Yeah, I thought about getting a Garbage Man shirt from Aaron, but I saved pretty much all my buying until the third day because I kind of had spaced out because having my brother there on the second day, I kind of had to manage the time. So the first day was about getting the autographs and talking to the creators and all that stuff. Then the second day was spending time with my brother and his wife at the show. And so then day 3 was the day for buying. And that's when I started to go out buy stuff. Except for Jason Metcalf, again, because, I wanted to help him out after I heard what happened to his truck and his wife and everything else. So I wanted to help him out. But short of that, it was like everything was waiting until Sunday before I did any buying. I had to pace myself and my wallet, which didn't work out too well anyway, because I ended up going a few $100s more than I wanted to spend anyhow. But hey, if you're not spending money you don't have for stuff you don't need, it's not really a convention experience, is it? But of course, I had to go to Aaron's table, and here we are, me at Aaron's table. And if you're seeing why we're doing the thumbs up, well, if you can see the art piece here, they're doing the thumbs up again. You're going to see that in a moment here. This is something I picked up from Aaron. See, this is why I didn't get a Garbage Man T-shirt. Instead, I decided to spend some serious money and get an actual piece of original artwork from Aaron. So, which he appreciated. And yeah, it was funny. His wife Shelly and my wife went to high school together. So there's like already that bond there. And then, of course, you guys know me and Aaron, we're doing the Comic Art Convo, which I hope we get back to someday. I hope his schedule will lighten up and he'll have more time and we can do it again because I really enjoyed the show. But yeah, you gotta love the expression. I think he's just happy because he saw me spend some money. I think that's what this look says. Hey, he spent some money. He put money in my pocket. Yes. But yeah, this is great. Like I said, just a lot of fun. I got a lot of great stuff and saw a lot of great people there, talked to some great creators. And, I even left my card with some of them because I'm thinking about I told him, I said, maybe I'm thinking about trying to do maybe some live stream, interviews with creators. Just something I'm trying to think. I'm always thinking of more stuff to try to put on this channel, as you guys know, since I've dedicated now to putting up more content. So I got to create more content. And I figured, hey, interviews with classic creators would be something really cool. So that's why I decided to go with. And so I gave some of them my card. So hopefully someone will get back to me. I can maybe schedule some, random interviews here and there. Now you'll be seeing from me and other creators. I think that would be kind of sweet. Let's see more from Leg Kick here. What did you buy him? Atari Force? Is that what you bought? You bought him Atari Force issues? That's because that's what I would think. It's going to get because I sent him one. I sent him issue 5 of Atari Force in one of those packages I sent him. You guys, if you watch some of those old Comic Art Combos, and you'll see on there he got one from me, issue number 5, the one that was drawn by Ross Andrew, the guy who did the mini books before it was a series. So yeah, that'd be funny if you got. But actually, funny enough, you bring it up, I bought Aaron some stuff. I got him some Kazar issues from the 70s series because I know he doesn't have them all yet. Oh, here you go. Oh, you got him Atari Force number 1. Nice. And I don't know why he gets so upset. It's Ross Andrew art. It's Jose Garcia Lopez art. I mean, it's guys he loves their work. I don't know why he'd have a problem with it. But yeah, I got him some Kazar issues. I got him an issue of Thor number 341, which he said was his favorite Walt Simonson cover. So I got him that so we could put it in the rack. And here you go, guys. If you again watch the Comic Art Convo, we talked about our favorite crossover comics, and everyone gave Aaron a bunch of junk about not having read the Teen Titans and X-Men crossover by Simonson back in the 80s. I bought Aaron a copy of it so he can now read it. So make sure when you're over there on his channel, hassle him and say, hey, have you read Teen Titans and X-Men yet? Because he has a copy. He can no longer say, well, I don't have a copy. I can't read it. Now he has a copy so he can read it. It can happen now. He has no more excuses. But, that's all for the pictures. That's all I got for pictures. But there you can see, I saw a lot of great people. I had some fun with them and stuff. So there you go. And now it's time for what you really wanted, which is the booty call. And I'm not talking about the kind of booty call that you're normally thinking of. No. I'm talking about the booty call of the haul from the show. What did you get, James? What did you spend all this money you said you blew that you didn't have on? Well, here we're going to go through it right now. Got myself a couple of classic Avengers West Coast issues. The one where Scarlet Witch goes bad, which is pretty much anything in the Marvel Disney stuff now. These were ones I was very happy to get. From the new Titan series, Conan. I was missing a lot of the issues. I only got a few of them, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. And I love, Robert De La Torre's art? I mean, it's like Kerry Nord meets John Buscema with the coloring of Frank Frazetta. It's just beautiful work, so I wanted to get some of that. Then I picked up a few Daredevil issues. Number 224, Daredevil versus Centurion. Very interesting battle there. Then we got number 234, Daredevil versus Madcap. And then number 235, Daredevil versus Mr. Hyde, drawn by the great Steve Ditko. So, yes, it was Byrne who did those Avengers West Coast issues. In fact, those were his last two issues on the book, in fact, and then he was gone. Continuing on here, we have, now I know you guys know I have a 9.6 copy of this graded, but I wanted a copy that was open that I could read. And, because I figured this is where it all began for me as a comic geek. So you may as well get, an issue that, was actually one that you didn't have in your collection yet. So that I had to get a copy of that. And then we got Spectacular Spider-Man 127. Again, that awesome cover. It's Al Milgrom cover, but man, I loved the way he did the blacks on this, the way he gets Spider-Man in there that way. That's just excellent stuff. Punisher 51, just to finish off my Punisher collection. I got the first 52 issues of the regular series now, which is what I wanted. I want that's like that first 4 years or so of the book. And this was the only one I was missing, so glad I could find that. Then we got some X-Men. I got the classic Silvestri Brood storyline, including the classic cover, the Wolverine cover that everyone loves. This is like one of the greatest covers of Silvestri's run of X-Men is this cover right here. And, for obvious reasons. But that wasn't all the X-Men. I actually got more X-Men than that. I got the two-parter with Rogue in the Master Mold, where Rogue gets sucked into the Perilous Siege. And then since I got that, I figured, well, I may as well get the issue where we find out what happens to her after she comes out of the Perilous Siege by Jim Lee, where she fights a zombified Ms. Marvel. So some good classic X-Men stuff there. West Coast Avengers 24, again, just filling in the run. I had every other issue, and this was like the conclusion to a storyline, so I had to pick that up. And then just for fun, because I'm not above having fun with stuff. Classic What The, and if you take a look here, special environmental issue. Yes, you got to love that. It's sad they could never do a book like this today. They just don't have it in them to do a book like this. That's so sad. But now we get to the big books that I picked up. There were two books that I spent, say, more than $10 to get them. And these were the two biggies I picked up. Cap 332, the one where Steve Rogers quits. Big time issue, big issue. Also, the second appearance of John Walker, who would later become Captain America and the U.S. agent. And then Spider-Man versus Wolverine. Again, just another classic. One that everyone should have in their collection. And that was it for the comic books that I picked up. But now it's time to get into the art. And this is the part that I've been waiting for because I love sharing art. Now, you guys saw this stuff, but you didn't really see it. Now you're going to really see it. This is the piece I got from Jason Martin. Panda from Body Bags. Jason was a big fan of Pearson's art, and he said when he passed away, it like kind of shook him a bit because he really loved his work. So he started saying he went on this like binge of just drawing all kinds of characters that Pearson was noted for drawing, and he did like several images of Panda here. And I saw this one. I'm like, this is the one I want. I thought out of the 3 or 4 he had with him, this was the best one, and that's what I went with. I just love the color. The color really sets it off. I like that. Good stuff. And we got more here from people in the chat. I bought Aaron's fan art and got the Garbage Man trade paperback free. Spent most of my money on Aaron. Got 2 commissions and 1 for my friend that went with me. Well, what were the commissions of? I mean, I'd like to know what characters you got. That'd be interesting to know. I'd love to know that. And we got Leg Kick here. The artist for Spider-Man Wolverine. Yeah, it was Mark Bright. Yeah, and I know Mark Bright. He'll always be for me the Iron Man artist, because the first issue of Iron Man I ever picked up was 226, the second part of the Armor Wars saga. And so, like, to me, Mark Bright and Bob Layton, that's Iron Man. And so, that was really, I was really upset when I heard Mark Bright had passed, because I did want to meet him. He's one of the artists I've always wanted to meet. Like Bagley's my top 10. So was Mark Bright. He was one of my top 10 artists. And so, I'm sad that he's no longer with us, because I really wanted to meet him. Oh, okay. So an original character of your own creation, and then Superman. I'm guessing Superman was for your friend. Yeah, I think Aaron would enjoy drawing Superman. I think he would like that. So I'm sure he did a good job on that. It's funny, when I came by to buy the piece that I bought from Aaron, he was actually working on a Wonder Woman piece at the time. So that was kind of interesting. I was just curious, because like I saw that, I'm like, was that one of the ones of yours he was working on at the time? That's crazy. Yeah, the wife, she always loved Perez's work. She's a huge Wonder Woman fan, and so like his passing, was sad for her, because she loved his run, in the 80s and the early 90s. And speaking of art, here's the piece you saw me holding with Aaron. It's Fairchild from Gen 13. A character Aaron is not exactly unfamiliar with. He has done some Gen 13 work, which is why I picked this up. If he would have had, some Gen 13 pages, I probably would have got a page rather than just this illustration. But barring that, I said, all right, I'll go for that. That's fine. Although, if you notice, what's missing in this picture? Can anybody guess what Aaron forgot in this picture? He forgot his signature. It's like, thank God I have a photograph so you know that it's his. Otherwise, you'd never know. And if you look on the back, there's a little sketchy sketch on the back too. Like perhaps the design he was thinking of going with for the character before he did the lifting of the rock and the thumbs up. But yeah, it kind of kills me that he didn't do his signature. Like, he's got here like the little bit of rock falling off. Maybe he could have put like a piece of rock down here that had fallen off, and he like big enough that he could put his name on it. It's just just funny how artists, they forget that stuff. They forget to put their name on their own art. Oh, okay. Yeah, then that wasn't me. No, on Friday I was wearing my Venom shirt in honor of Mark Bagley being there. So I had my Venom shirt on for that. Yeah. And then Saturday I had the Derek Keown werewolf shirt. And then, as you saw with Aaron on Sunday, I had the Wraith of God shirt. So I was actually promoting Aaron's work for him while I was at the show. I was a free billboard. So I pumped his work. Plus I gave him money and bought some of his work. He didn't have to do very much. And now the final piece. This is what put me over budget for the show. This is what really drove me over the budget. Again, my friend Jason Metcalf. This is the C2E2 exclusive variant cover to a book called Vamp Blade, Season 2, Issue Number 1, that he did specifically for Jason Martin. Jason Martin's creation of Vamp Blade. I saw this and it immediately spoke to me. I just love that look. And again, looking at the detail in this, again, tell me how Jason Metcalf is not a major artist in the mainstream. How did that happen? How did that happen that did not occur? Looking at this image. I mean, come on. This is just totally sick. This detail in this. And just in case you guys thinking I'm making that up, here it is, the actual cover to the book, signed by Jason Metcalf, and up top here, it's hard to see it, but by Jason Martin, the writer and creator. So there you are, guys. This was the book. And then the last thing I got, of course, because when I bought Aaron's art, I had a little bit of money left on it, like $10, and they're like, I don't want to take money from you. So instead, I picked up Saved from the Trash, Aaron's sketchbook. Leave it to Aaron, Mr. Garbage Man, Man Thing, Swamp Thing, Sludge, all these goopy monsters. It's and that was pretty much it, folks. That was my haul from the show. Yes, my wife is in chat. Yes, dear, Jason is so good. Like I said, I don't know how he's not a star in the mainstream. It's like I said, if the mainstream wasn't a garbage fire right now, I'd say it'd be a travesty that he's not a major talent in the mainstream. Oh, okay, I see. So you were letting Bagley think you thought he was an artist other than who he was. Yes. I thought about doing that to Aaron. I thought about doing a video, having my wife video me walking up to Aaron and going, "Oh, I'm such a big fan of your work. I loved your Wonder Woman and your Justice League, but your best work, I think, was Ghost at Dark Horse. I just loved your noirish way you did that imagery. It was so great." And then he could go, "I'm not Adam Hughes." And I go, "You're not?" He goes, "No." And then I'd look over and see his sign and be like, "Oh, well, I like your art too." And give him a true con experience, because that's how he'll know it's a real con, when someone confuses him for Adam Hughes. Oh, the Aaron sketchbook. Yeah, it is. In fact, you know what? Let's take a moment, just a moment, since this is my live stream and I can do what I want. We'll take a quick look here at just some stuff. Like, see, like, this is the stuff he called trash. I mean, look at these. Look at those. Oh, here you go. The wife will enjoy this. I mean, good old Captain Jack. And then we get into the more esoteric stuff out of his mind. The kind of stuff that makes us worry about Aaron sometimes. Is he okay? Is Aaron feeling all right? And then you got, of course, the what he calls the leftovers here. I mean, some leftovers. Dinosaurs and orcs and cavemen. Yeah, he is. But don't tell him. We don't want to get him a swelled head. We don't want him thinking he's too good. Yeah, I figured you would think so, dear. I know you loved his Wonder Woman art, so I just, when I saw that, that's why I had to show it. But yes, so there you go, folks. It was a great time. I had a lot of fun. Although I will say, I'll tell you this, it took a lot more out of me than I expected. I felt like after just being at the show, I felt as tired as if I had worked the show. And it's like, I remember days when I worked the show and I felt that tired. And I'm like, how can I feel this tired? I didn't work the show. I was just there, just an attendee. And I guess it's a sign you're getting older when that's happening. So, yeah, it is what it is. Can't stop the aging process. But I still went there. I had a good time. As for what's next, well, I'm definitely going to try to make next year's, whenever that's going to be. And, I'm talking to the wife. Maybe there's a slim chance we have to see how finances are, and we have to see what the weather's like. But maybe we'll do Grit City it's November 9th. It's a 1-day show. Maybe that won't be so heavy on us as a 3-day show. We'll have to see how that works out. But maybe I'll do that. Just cross your fingers that things work well for me that way, and we can do it. But otherwise, probably won't be another show until next year. But I hope you enjoyed checking all this out. As for what's next on this channel, well, I got my comic order from Discount Comic Book Service coming in sometime this week. I'm expecting it. So there will be a new What's in the Box coming up. You get to see this month's stash and see what I picked up there. And as for this big pile of goodness we went through here, could there be possibly another Why It's Great in there? I wonder. So we'll have to wait and see. But I got those coming up. And like I said, then hopefully maybe I'll try to see if I can get some of those creators I talked with, see if I can get some interviews lined up, do some live streaming interviews. I think people would like that. That would be a lot of fun. And yeah, it is. It's a 1-day show, so I'm thinking it'll be a little less taxing on me than a 3-day show would have been. It's like I said, just this getting older stuff kind of sucks. It's not fun. It's not fun. I don't like feeling tired from not pushing myself. But I thank you all for joining me today. I hope you got some fun out of this. I wish you saw some cool stuff. If you're out there and you were at the show, drop something down there in the chat, in the comments there. Tell me what you picked up at the show. What cool stuff did you get? You saw the cool stuff I picked up. What did you get? Some great art? Did you get some great books? Tell me about it. Tell me the cool stuff you saw there and cool stuff you bought. Or if you got any questions about something you saw here, hit me up. If I can give you some answers, I definitely will. And make sure to give a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more content like this in the future. And, I will be back soon again with some more stuff very much in the near future here. Like I said, I got definitely a What's in the Box coming up and possibly another Why It's Great. And after that, we'll see what comes. So hopefully we'll have some more stuff for you soon, as I'm always trying to add more content. And I want to thank you all for joining me today. I hope you got some fun out of this. And until next time, take care.